Hi guys, welcome back to Fairies Tutorials. In this video, we're looking at the subject CSEC Food, Nutrition and Health question tools for the exam years 2021, 2022 and 2023. Now this video is for you to identify the similarities and the differences among the question tools for these years. But before we look at the questions, let's take a brief overview of the topics that you are required to know, or the contents that you're required to know that comes from section 2, because that's where the questions will be taken from, right? Now, firstly, principles of nutrition. We're required to know definitions such as food, nutrition, nutrients, nutritive value of food, nutritional status, and also digestion, functions and importance of food, and also the chemical elements of which food is composed, right? You are also required to know about nutrition related health problems, where you look at description of nutrition related health problems such as malnutrition, undernutrition, overnutrition. You were required to know about deficiency diseases, their definitions, and suitable examples as it relates to classification of nutrients, their description, functions, and also health conditions associated with these nutrients, importance of calcium and iron to special groups, foods that impact the absorption of calcium and iron, where you look at those factors that inhibit the absorption or promote the absorption of calcium and iron. You were required to know about the health conditions that are associated with the improper intake of minerals and vitamins as well. Also water, where you look at the sources and functions, health conditions associated with its improper intake, such as digestion, constipation, and you should know the signs and symptoms of these conditions as well. Also, factors that affect the nutritive value of food, where you can look at the agricultural practices, conditions during transportation, processing, and so on. And also digestion of food, parts of the digestive system, definition of certain key terms such as digestion, mastication, absorption, bolus, peristalsis, and chyme. And also, as I said before, the different parts of the digestive system, and also credible nutrition information sources such as online media, magazines, newspaper, television, textbooks, and so on. So it's an extensive list, and you were required to know all of those information. Now, it is good for you to know, to keep your knowledge wide, because you're not sure which question that you're going to get from these topics. All right, but now we're going to turn our attention to looking at the topics that fall under these questions for the exam years 2021, 2022, and 2023. Right? Are you ready? Drum roll. All right, let's go. So as you can see, in 2021, part 2A, it says, list 2 sources of protein, 2 marks. State 2 functions of protein. Name 2 elements found in proteins, and that also require 2 marks as well. Next, for that question about protein is 6 marks, right? Now let's look across in the year 2022. Part 2A states, state 2 functions of food in the body, 2 marks. Name the deficiency disease that could occur as a result of an improper intake of each of the following nutrients: vitamin A, vitamin C, iron, and iodine, right? And then in 2023, it says differentiate between essential and non-essential amino acids. State 2 examples of low biological value protein, and also state 2 examples of high biological value proteins. Now, if you notice, all of these 2A questions are asking about the nutrients, right? They're asking about the nutrients, and in some cases, the classification of nutrients, and also the deficiency diseases that may arise of a deficiency or improper intake of these nutrients in the diet, right? Now let us look at 2021 part B. Susan is preparing a medley of steamed vegetables to be served for lunch. Explain 2 ways in which Susan can conserve vitamin C during the pre-preparation stage and preparation stage of the meal. So right off the bat, you can see where this question is asking about ways in which we can conserve nutrients in while we are preparing food or during the pre-preparation stage, right? So all the activities that you can do to prevent the vitamins from leaching out the food. And that particular question refers to section 2, part A, where it speaks of conservation of vitamins in food preparation, and you do the pre-preparation stage and also the cooking and holding stage. Now moving on to 2022 part B. Kendra is an anemic adolescent who has planned the following breakfast menu. Now for the breakfast menu, you see there is chocolate milk, kalaloo or spinach and scrambled eggs, toasted bread and coffee. Now this question says you're to suggest 3 adjustments that should be made to the menu above based on Kendra's condition. So what is Kendra's condition? She is anemic. What does anemic mean? When there is a lack of blood in the body, right? Now she's also adolescent, and based on her name, we're assuming that she is a female. Now, so what will happen to Kendra monthly during her menstrual cycle? She will lose blood, plus she's already anemic, right? So this question, based on the menu here, you have to look at if there are any inhibitors there that may prevent the iron from being absorbed from the spinach and the kalaloo. How is it that we can better prepare these items to ensure that all the nutrients, especially the iron, is absorbed, right? So in order for iron to absorb, there must be some form of vitamin C. Good. So we think along that line. We also think about coffee. There's a substance in coffee that caffeine will affect the absorption of iron. So you have to think about those things in when you're suggesting the adjustments that could be made. There is extensive discussion of this part of 2022 question on the channel, so you can watch that video for you to get the answer to this response. But for right now, we're just analyzing the similarities. Good. Now in 2023, the question asks, explain how each of the following affects the nutritive value of food. So where we can look back in 2021 and see it is asking how we can conserve nutrients during the preparation of food. This question is asking us to explain how these practices will affect the preparation of food, right? So agricultural practices, food purchasing practices, and also food preparation practices. So 2021 specified the type of practice and what can be done, but in 2023 it asks you how is it that this food preparation practice can lead to the nutrients being not at their full value, right? So you can see the similarity there, but the question is structured in a much different way in 2023, and it requires more content from you as well. So that is why it is important for you to read widely and understand each topic so that you're able to apply yourself. It doesn't matter what question you get. Part C. Peter, an elderly man, was advised by his doctor to increase his intake of water and minerals. CI suggests 3 signs and symptoms that Peter may have shown that caused the doctor to recommend an increased intake of water. Now that question is worth 3 marks. So as it relates to signs and symptoms of, the doctor may see signs of dehydration, Peter may be constipated, etc. Now part C2 says, Peter's doctor recommended that he use a supplement to increase his mineral intake. List 3 ways in which Peter can increase his mineral intake other than by the use of supplements, right? So you were to suggest 3 ways. So for example, what dietary measure that he can take instead of supplement? How is it that he can take in supplements? How is it that he can increase the intake of mineral in his diet, right? Now you can see the video for the question, this question on 2021. Moving on to the next part. So in 2022, that part C question says, J2 recently suffered a stroke as a result of hypertension and heart disease. He was also diagnosed with diabetes. Plan a lunch menu which is suitable for G2, right? So this question is requiring you to plan a menu for a person who is hypertensive, have heart disease, and the person is also diabetic. So when you're planning this menu, you know, you're staying away from processed foods, salty foods, sugary foods, especially refined sugar, all of that, right? So let us compare a bit now. So this question in 2021 is requiring you to suggest how minerals can be included in the diet without the use of supplements. So you're suggesting meal ideas. It's not asking you to plan a menu, but it's suggesting meal ideas that he can include in his diet for him to have the mineral supply to his body, right? So you must know the sources of nutrients, and when you know the correct sources, food sources of nutrients, then you will know how to plan menu adequately. Now let us see what the final question in the year 2023 is. It says, state which figure or picture shows a child who has marasmus and which figure or picture shows a child who has kwashiorkor, right? So it's very important for us to able to identify signs of these deficiency diseases, right? So we know that marasmus and kwashiorkor are signs of the deficiency of protein, right? Protein, energy, malnutrition, PEM. And you must know the follow-up question asks for symptoms. So you must know the symptoms of the person or the child rather who may have kwashiorkor, or the child who may have marasmus, right? So as you can see, this question asks a lot about nutrients, about nutrient deficiencies. It's asks about planning meals for special groups such as the adolescent female. You may even get like the babies, you may get athletes, you may get strict vegetarians, you may even get young girls, as in question, which question was it? As in the year 2022 when it asks about anemic adolescent, right? So young girls or young women who during menstrual cycle, all of that. So in answering questions like these, we must know the importance of calcium and iron to these special groups and how we can include them in the diet, right? Now that is it for this analysis. I hope it was beneficial to you guys. Now you have an understanding of what question 2 may look like, right? This is just an outlook of what you can expect. The question may repeat, some parts of it may repeat, it may not. It may repeat with just probably you're required to do, instead of, for instance, the sources of protein, you may get the sources of another nutrient such as carbohydrates. All right, so that is it guys for this analysis video, and as always, good luck. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to persons who you know will find this video useful. Thanks for watching. Awesome, you've made it to the end of the session. Please remember to subscribe, turn on your post notification bells so you can be notified when there's another upload. Most importantly, share with persons who you know will find this information useful. Thank you for making it Fairs Tutorials.